going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Apologies, man. That was a bit harsh, really, wasn't it? After I put that picture up, I thought, oh, I've done him a little bit dirty there. But listen, when Thierry speaks, I listen, people. And we're going to speak about Granit Xhaka anyway as the show goes on. Big up to everyone tuned in. I hope you're well on this Wednesday, Champions League Wednesday. Come on, Real Madrid. Nothing to do with the fact City took the league off us, but Ala Madrid, people. And listen, we'll be talking, of course, about Granit Xhaka, who is leaving Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on it, and I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Obviously, I threw up a quick short last night just to get something out there, but we're going to speak about it in more detail. And Arsenal set to offer a club record fee for Declan Rice, a.k.a. Jollof Rice, rice and peas, egg fried rice, and all of that good stuff. Is he worth £92 million? Or is it just a case of, if the manager wants him, pay what he's worth, people? Let me know later on in the show. A little bit more transfer news as well. Rob Holding being linked with a move away, which I think is good news. No disrespect, but we have to move on. We have to move in the right direction. That is for sure, people. Make sure you like the video on entry and get yourself involved in today's show. Big up everyone in the chat. Latte says, bye-bye, Granite. Odion said, I'm so happy this day has finally come. It's not too much, said Cold Lily, who said, but if it gets over the line, do it. Show holding the door, said Zaneid. Bro, I'll pack his bags and drive him to the airport, said Saka. Pay him up to leave the club. Double celebration, Holding and Xhaka mode. My day. What am I going to call Xhaka mode now? We have to go somewhere else. Xhaka mode has been famous. We got to go. Who's probably the slowest player at Arsenal with Xhaka gone? Jorginho, possibly? We may have to go Jorginho mode, people. So, hey, it is what it is anyway, people. Big up SG, who said, let's celebrate tonight. Come on, bye-bye liability. Oh, man. Fabio mode, they're saying. I mean, we're waiting for Fabio to turn up. So, Fabio or Jorginho, I think we're going to have to go. Big up SG with the super chat, though. Let's get into today's show anyway. Let's get into today's show. Hope you're all well. Yuri Tillemans mode. I hope we don't get him in. As I said, I do not want him at this football club. Oshin said, just finished my 20k word thesis today to complete college. Needed these streams to get through them hours of study. Big up yourself, bro. Congrats on finishing your work. 20,000 words. I don't know if I could go back to studying nowadays. Like, I'm not even sure if I could write more than a page of writing. Nathan said Rice and Caicedo needs to happen, not one or the other. Well, the problem is, Nay, if we're going to spend 92 million potentially on Declan Rice, are Arsenal then going to spend, I mean, they were talking about 80 million for Caicedo in January. Can you see Arsenal spending possibly 170 million pounds on two midfielders? Pep Teta says, nice short videos. Yeah, listen, I'm going to start putting out more shorts, more short videos. Make sure you follow me on TikTok as well if you are on there, Curtis Shaw TV. A lot of the tour, I'm going to throw out short YouTube videos and TikToks just so I can keep you updated on what's happening as I'm over there in the summer in the US. So make sure you follow on TikTok and look out for the shorts. Going to get a lot more content out on there. EGS said, big up, Big C. Hope you and the fam are blessed. Can't complain, bro. Can't complain. And everything's good, bro. Hope you're well. Hope everyone in the comments is well. And let's get into today's show. Let's let it cook, people. We've marinated it. Now let's let it cook. The clear out begins. Well, you know, when things are going well for you, sometimes you got to get out the bin liner, got to go to your wardrobe, got to pull some clothes out, and you got to put some things in the charity shop, people. You know, you've moved on. You've gone into a higher tax bracket. Your clothing is a little bit better. You don't need them old tops that don't fit you anymore. Them dusty jeans that you haven't wore for 4 years. Do what you need to do. Get them in the bag. Give them to charity. We've got some stuff in the wardrobe that needs to go to the charity shop. I've got a Holding t-shirt. I've got a Xhaka pair of jeans. I've got an El Neni vest. I've got a Fabio jacket at the back there. Some things need to go in that charity shop. I mean, listen, if there's a bit of value, throw them on eBay. But for me, you just get these players in the charity shop, people, and get them off the wage bill. Lawrence said, Curtis, you need to do a transfer daily. Oh, we might do. I suppose the difference is I could do one every day, to be fair, but then does it cut off when I do the live streams because I'll have already spoken about it? We'll see. Obviously, on tour, I'll be doing the dailies as I did last year with the gardeners sprinkling water all the time in Orlando. So, yeah, man. Hype said, Big C, yesterday was my birthday. Can you do a shout out? Happy birthday for yesterday, bro. Hope you had a good day. And Last King said, Curtis, my girl asked me why I'm always watching you. I said, that's Big C. I got to watch. Let her know, man. You got to tune in, bro. Certain things have to happen every day. Lock in. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're well. Hope you and the family are blessed, man. Big up yourself. Let's get into today's show anyway. The club needs new drip for sure. We need to upgrade. And upgrading begins with the clear out. And the clear out is well and truly underway, people. A day that I never ever thought I would see happen. Granit Xhaka is leaving Arsenal Football Club. Wow. I mean, I honestly thought Xhaka would be here for probably the rest of his career and probably even become a coach. Because he just seemed ingrained in this football club, like we can't get rid of him. Now, Strider said, yeah, Robbie does it every day, so he could still do it. Yeah, why not? We may do a transfer daily and a live stream as well. We'll see over the summer. It's funny with Granit, you know. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not unhappy that he's leaving. I think it's right for him to go. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm quite a harsh Arsenal fan. I demand the best, what I think they're capable of. And I think it's the right time to let him go. He's just had his best season as an Arsenal player. Let's be real. In this new, more advanced role, he's had his best season, and I do think it's time for him to go. And listen, he's not going in a disrespectful manner. If this was 2-3 years ago, I'd be having a party at the beginning of this stream that he's going. Now I'm like, I'm not having a party, but I'm not downbeat. I think sometimes it's better to get rid of a player when they've actually done well. You know, he's had a good season. He's 30 years of age. Thank you for your service. Onwards and upwards. He's been at the club since 2016. He turns 31 in September. He has a year left on his contract. The problem we've got is two things. Because a lot of people were saying yesterday, you know, that we shouldn't be selling him. He's just had his best season. Keep him as a squad player. I want to say two things about this situation. Number one, Granit Xhaka, you can tell that he's got quite a big ego and attitude. He's not going to want to be a squad player at Arsenal. He sees himself as a top player. He thinks he should be starting at Arsenal. So I don't think he's prepared to just be a squad player at Arsenal and sit down on the bench while we go and get Rice or Caicedo or whoever else comes in. So that's first of all. I don't think he's willing to be a squad player. Second of all, Xhaka turns 31 in September. Do I really want to see Arsenal give Granit Xhaka a new 2 or 3 year contract when he's turning 31 at the start of next season? I don't think so. I think you get rid of him now. He still has a little bit of value. You're getting a quite high earner off the wage bill, 120 grand a week. And I think it's time to move on. We're going back into the Champions League. We're going to have to make harsh and difficult decisions. Right, and I think this is one of them. I think Arteta would have wanted to keep him. But I think two things have happened. Arteta has said, number one, I'm going to bring in a new midfielder. I can't guarantee you first team football. And I think second of all, Xhaka has said, I'm not willing to be a squad player. It's also believed that his wife wants to move back to Germany. Now, when you look at this, Fabrizio Romano said, Granit Xhaka set to leave Arsenal at the end of the season. No negotiations over a new deal. Plan to part ways in June. Bayer Leverkusen are in advanced talks to sign him. 15 million euros. It's about 13 million pounds. And they understand personal terms are almost agreed over a 4-year contract. 4-year deal for a guy that is going to turn 31 in September. That is an unbelievable deal for Granit Xhaka. A team that often makes Champions League football. in Germany. I'm sure he's going to start in their team. 4-year contract, believed to be on the same wages. It's a no-brainer. I think everybody wins. I think everybody wins. I think Xhaka, like somebody just said, he's not going to get any quicker. He's getting a 4-year contract on the same wage, 120 grand. It's an unbelievable deal. On the flip side, what I'm expecting to see from Arsenal is this. Arsenal are very interested in Diaby, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen, right wing. We know that the club tried to sign him in January. There's rumours we're going to sign him in this window coming up. Surely, you know, this paves the way for negotiations to continue. Okay, we're giving you Granit for £13 million, which is still pretty good business for Leverkusen for a player they want. 13 million is quite cheap, right, for a player that could probably go and do well in the German league. I think we should be using that in our interest, you know, to get Diaby maybe at a better price. So, for me, Granit Xhaka leaving. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. What are your thoughts on Xhaka leaving? Personally, he goes with my blessings. As I said, 2 years ago, I'd have probably give him a slap round the back of the head and said, get out of it. Now, at least, I can give him a pat on the back and say, you know, thanks for the last year. It took 5 years for it to happen. But, you know, you go with my blessing. Xhaka leaving. Is that the right decision? Is that the right decision? I want to know your thoughts, because there were some people saying I don't think he should be going, but I think it's the right decision. You don't give him a new contract when he's nearly 31, in my opinion. So there's the first poll of the day. McCloven just said there about Gundogan. City struggling to give him a new deal because of the age. Yeah, City struggling to give Gundo more than 1 year, and he's 32. And Gundogan is, no disrespect, he's better than Granit Xhaka. He's an outstanding player. Elliot said, no squad player, no problem. Xhaka out, Rice in. I agree with you. Fran will be sad. What is Franit Xhaka going to do when Xhaka leaves? Unless man wants to ride the bench, our time here is done. Exactly. Right time to bid farewell now. El Neni next. I cannot believe that Xhaka has left before El Neni. But the difference is, El Neni don't mind being a backup dancer. El Neni will sit down on the bench and play 4 games a season on 50 bags a week and stay there. Xhaka's on 120 grand a week. So, I've got no problem. I would say that Xhaka is leaving with me respecting him more as a footballer than I did 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was like, get this guy out, sell him to Roma. I don't care if it's 4 million, get rid of him. He's a liability. The last year, we've seen a better, more mature player. He's had a good season. 5 goals, 7 assists, 5 yellow cards, no reds. We've seen maturity. We've seen a better player. I suppose it's a shame he didn't play in this advanced role, you know, before this. But I think it's right for him to go. Big up my bro Akeem. He said we need to transform now. I like Xhaka now, but he needs to go. I totally agree. I think he goes with our blessings now. Huge respect for turning it around. One thing I've always said about Granit Xhaka, I respect his personality. He stands up. He doesn't hide. He'll stand up and be counted. Even telling the fans to F off. I don't know how he ever recovered from that situation. And he did. And he rebuilt himself. And I have kind of respected him in that sense. But I do think it's time to move on. I genuinely have no problem with him leaving. I think we have to upgrade. Our midfield is a problem. Holding has to go, bloke. Holding has to go. Bro, I have some news for you, man. We're going to talk about Holding later in the show. The clear out is well and truly underway, people. I told you. We've got the bin bags out. We're clearing out the wardrobe. Some of these clothes are going to the charity shop. Nathan said, I'm happy he's going, but he's a character. And you know what? You make a good point there, because I do think that we lack characters in the dressing room. And I think that's something he's got to address in the summer. African Giant. Ring, Todd. Pick up the clock. Well, they're going to try and smash some of our deals. Declan Rice, possibly. But I think you need to stay out of this one, bro. Big up yourself, though. And Fit said, 1 good season in 7. A liability for 6 seasons. Bye. You know, Fitz, he don't hold back. I hear you, though, Fitz. I hear you. Let's not get too giddy about the good season. You know, I remember him grabbing people around the neck and getting sent off and making a whole heap of mistakes. So big up yourself, Fitz. iPhone 6 need to be dashed. 14's required at this level. Yo, Eminem's settings, man. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. I'm sorry, Xhaka. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry. But tonight, we're cleaning out the closet. You got to go, Leverkusen, bro. You got to go. Your time here is done. Thank you for the memories of 12 months. But you're done here, my friend. You're done. Thank you, Xhaka. On your bike, fella. Right. I'll leave that up, the poll. We'll end that shortly as we move on. That's the Granit Xhaka stuff done and dusted. And another player that could be... In fact, no, there's a bit of breaking news. I've just seen a few of you putting this in the comments. So let me talk about this. Yellow ticker settings. And it's regarding Gabriel Martinelli. I don't think anyone's surprised about this. Gabriel Martinelli will miss the final 2 matches of the season after suffering ankle ligament damage. Martinelli is expected to be sidelined for a number of weeks. Barring any setbacks, he should return in pre-season ahead of the new campaign. That was Caicedo's parting gift for Arsenal not buying him in January. Man said, brother, I got 10 siblings. I was ready to move. You left me here on the Pebble Beach in Brighton. I'm taking someone's ankle off, bro. So let's hope this is only 2 or 3 weeks. Should be all right. Should be all right. As long as it doesn't need an operation, even for a bad one, 4 to 6 weeks, he should be back for pre-season. Obviously disappointing for the last 2 games, but use it as an opportunity to give other people game time. Franklin said, Curtis, you really have to stop singing. I think that's quite harsh. I felt like I was really in the zone then. I was about to start rapping, but the copyright had me scared, bro. But big up yourself. Kabir, big up to you, bro. Kabir is the king of the timestamps after the game. So thank you for all your support through the season, bro. Martinelli injured, set to miss the next 2 games. Let's be honest, people. I'm keeping it a buck here. I'm gonna be honest. I pretty much don't care about these last 2 Arsenal games. Will I be doing the watch-alongs? Yeah. I'll be here purely for vibes and conversation with the community. You will see limited celebrations. You will see limited meltdowns. We'll probably end up talking about biscuits or something. Like, I'll be here for the watch-alongs. No matter what, I will be there. But I have very little interest. Forest and Wolves. Forest are trying to stay up. And Wolves is basically Xhaka's farewell game. Them games don't mean much. Yeah, pre-season preparation. I want that to be a farewell game for Nketiah, Xhaka, Holding, Fabio Vieira. He can go. I mean, El Nenny's not fit, but he can sit in the stands and wave. I want 5-6 players to be walking around the pitch at the end, waving at the fans. No, that's what I'm on, people. I ain't here to play games. I don't want to go through what we've been through over the last 4 weeks next season. Because I tell you something, it hurts. Because they made me believe. And that's the beauty of it. They made me believe that it was possible. And I held back, and I held back, and I never really said openly that I thought we were going to win it. Because in my head, I always thought there was going to be a collapse somewhere. But they gave me a little belief and then let me down at the last minute. So I'm sorry, people. I want people waving. I want to see players waving to the fans at Wolves and with tears in their eyes because they know they're not coming back. And that's the harsh reality of football. Got to be cruel to be kind sometimes, people. You cannot consistently applaud falling at the last hurdle. You know what I'm saying? You got to actually get over the finish line and lift trophies. Sit in the stands and wave. If El Nenny's got to sit down and wave, then wave, people. Wave. I'm telling you. Wave to the... Jumped off the... Bro, I've been off the train for about 2 weeks. I was off that train. They checked my ticket. I had no ticket. I told you, I'm not there. I wanted trophies. I'm here for trophies, people. We're Arsenal. We're not Crystal Palace. We're not here to just, you know, be part of the get-along gang and say well done. No, I want to win things. Alex said, season is over. We had a great one. We take it on again next season. Saliba already in Cameroon with his dad on early vacation. Well, we know he's not playing the rest of the season anyway. But big up to Alex. LSU said, waving the wrong kind of armpits. Yeah, exactly. I said I wanted them to lift the trophy to show armpits. They're going to be waving. But as long as it's the fringe players, I'll take it. But yeah, Martinelli out for the season. Oh, Assassin. Assassin's got some strong opinions. He said, Curtis, hear me out, bro. Would you take Lukaku? I wouldn't. I wouldn't take Lukaku. He's not the right player for us, in my opinion. I don't think Lukaku suits the Premier League anymore. I think he's better off staying in Italy. Don't get me wrong, at Everton, he was fantastic. I would have taken him them times. And when he went into the first time and Man United brought him back, them times there, that conversation, I would have been open-eared to that. But nah, I don't want Lukaku, man. I don't want him. He's 30. He's on about 300 grand a week. I don't want Lukaku anywhere near this football club. I'd much rather take Ivan Toney. Got to be honest. The train went on strike. I'm telling you, they pulled over. And Elliot, who was driving the train, he got off, man. Elliot was telling me all year about the train, but nah. Chris said next thing Curtis will be vexed when Brennan Johnson scores on Saturday. I won't, bro. I won't. Because what? If we win, we're second. If we lose, we're second. You're going to see a very calm character for the next two watch-ons. In fact, I'll probably be a little bit angry if we win the game because I'll be like, oh, now you want to win when it don't mean nothing. So, Yash Deep said 90 million for Rice, 80 Caicedo, 60 Cancelo, 60 Diaby, and 30 for Simican, 320 million. Keep Tierney, sell the fringe players. Oh, that's a lot of work for Edu to do. Do you trust Edu to make 150 million in player sales? I don't think he would. That's the problem. Latte, big up to you, bro. Said Forest will destroy us at the City ground. Listen, wouldn't surprise me if we got beat because a win keeps them in the league. They're going to be so fired up for that game. We're going to be flat as a pancake. So wouldn't surprise me if we lost to Forest. Yeah, member stream tomorrow, people. 4 o'clock. Member stream tomorrow. So we'll do a normal stream at 2. And the members, get yourself in. 4 o'clock tomorrow. Is it progress? Is it failure? Is the truth somewhere in the middle? Who do you want us to sign in the summer? Who do you want us to sell? All of that stuff. Member stream, 4 o'clock tomorrow. Regular stream at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure you're locked in. Right, let's continue. No waffle today, people. But a whole heap of carbohydrates. A.K.A. rice and peas. A.K.A. jollof rice. Somebody put in the comments, Declan overpriced. I like that one. That one got me. I felt like I should have got that one before you said it. Cooper said, good day, Big C. How will Xhaka be remembered? I'll probably remember him telling the fans to F off at Crystal Palace because that's his biggest highlight. Do you know what? I would have loved him to have won the title with us at the end and have gone out on a high. You know, at least he finished with a good season, but very mixed emotions with Xhaka. Still, for me, should have signed N'Golo Kante. I'm sorry. The 1 year doesn't make up for the previous 6. I know I may come across as extremely harsh. You know, this year he was good. He was good, man. But, you know, I forgive you, but I can't forget, Granite. You're forgiven, Granite. Let me tell you that. I've forgiven you. Put the feelings aside. I've forgiven you. But I certainly don't forget. I remember him kicking the ball straight at Chris Wood at Burnley. I remember him giving a penalty away at home against Manchester City. I remember him grabbing that Burnley player and being sent off. So, yeah, I've forgiven you, but I haven't forgotten, Granite. That's how I would describe it. I want to know your thoughts on this. Anyway, let's end the Granit Xhaka poll as well. What was the percentages there, people? 86% of you say it was the right decision to let him go, and 14% say no, we should have kept him. So I think we know where we're at with that one. Thank you for the memories, fella. But it's time to move on. The fly kick against Liverpool as well. You know what I mean? Man was kung fu fighting and all sorts. Xhaka detox. I thought he was going to say Xhaka Demas and pliers there. Jay Alex, you're really harsh on Granit. No wonder he's leaving. Bro, did you not see the first 5 years, 6 years? He's been harsh on us. We've been waiting half a decade for this season. So, yeah, man, he's done well here. I think he's done better out of the deal than we've done. So, anyway, let's move on. Arsenal are putting together an offer worth a club record £92 million. Yes, you heard it. Not 92 million euros, not 92 Jamaican dollars, US dollars, lira. Australian dollars, any kind, monopoly money. 92 million English pounds for Declan Rice. I struggle to get my head around that, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe I need to get with the times. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm getting old. I remember Cristiano Ronaldo costing 80 million to go Real Madrid when he was, along with Messi, the best player in world football. We're paying 92 million for a guy that, if I'm being totally honest, I've probably spent the last 3 years saying he's overrated. If Ross is in the comments, English tax. But anyway, 92 million pounds for Declan Rice. West Ham will want as much. Here he is, he's there. English tax, Ross. West Ham will want as much as possible of that fee paid up front. Arsenal remain confident they can agree a deal with West Ham and land Rice this summer. Damn! 92 million for some Rice, Jesus. I thought we was going into worldwide recession. I thought things were getting cheaper. Damn, this is going up. This is like petrol. Apparently, there's a big report today from Matt Law. He's done a very long article today in the Daily Telegraph. He's speaking a lot about Arsenal. He's saying that 70 million up front, 22 million in add-ons. My opinion is this. And again, second poll of the day is about to start. Would you pay 92 million for Declan Rice? Now, I want you to answer the question from this point of view. This is for me, Declan Rice ain't worth 92 million. It's as simple as that. I've watched him many times. I don't see a 92 million pound player. However, this is the point I'm at as an Arsenal fan now. If the manager wants him, pay the money for him. Simple as that. If Arteta wants him, if that's his number one target, pay the 92 million. What do I care? It's not my money, although it probably is partly our money from the merch and the ticket sales. I think Caicedo's better. Simple. I think he'd be cheaper as well. But I'm at this point now. If it's Mikel's number one target, buy him. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now, right? I don't understand from a business point of view, though, and I'm saying this out loud, I don't know how West Ham can get 92 million pounds for a player that has never played in the Champions League, right? That has got 1 year left on his contract. I've got no idea how you get 92 million pound for a player in that position. If he played for one of the big six clubs in the Prem and he'd played in the Champions League for 4 years, I would understand. Okay, big club, blah, blah, blah. 92 million for a guy with 1 year on his deal is unbelievable business by West Ham. Incredible. Oh, apparently he's got a 1 year option. Okay, so it's 2 years. So I'll edit that slightly then. But still, it's unbelievable business. Den said, Curtis, look at Grealish. Yeah, I mean, Grealish isn't worth 100 million. I know McLovin's in the chat. He's a Man City fan. I like Grealish. I think he's a good player. He's not worth 100 million. You look at the numbers he gets. As a winger, he's not worth that. So, yeah, listen, for me, it's a double-sided coin. Is Declan Rice worth 92 million? No. Would I pay 92 million for him if I was Arsenal? I'm saying if Arteta said, that's my number one centre midfielder, pay the money. Just pay it. 70 million up front, 22 million in add-ons. We've got loads of players that we can sell this summer. Pay the money. Arteta has to be given his number one targets. Once he's given his number one targets, we can all sit there and go, no excuses. You got your number one players. We've seen what you've produced. Now we'll make the fair judgment whether you're good enough or not. Like Usman said, they paid 90 million for Mudryk. Mudryk's an unproven player from the Ukrainian league. It's the going rate for a player nowadays. So he's not worth it, but pay it. It's a contradiction within itself, what I'm saying. But I think you know what I mean when I say it. 70 million up front is not too bad. 22 million in add-ons that you'll spread over a few years. And you've got loads of players. Like I said, we got 11 players on loan. If you can get rid of 7 or 8 of them, you can probably pay that 70-odd million pound off. And it's like you've got him for nothing anyway. So, for me, not worth it. But Arteta wants him. Pay the money for him. That's my opinion. I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your thoughts. Are you agreeing? Milinkovic-Savic would be cheaper and better. The only thing I would say are different roles. I think Rice will play a little bit further back, where Milinkovic-Savic more attacking. Maybe we could buy both. Leon said we can't sell players. Well, 15 million euros for Granit. That's a start. We got 5 million quid for Pablo Mari. So you're looking at nearly 20. Well, I think Xhaka's works out at 13 million, 5 million for Mari. So that's 18 million through the door. And the window hasn't even opened yet. So if we can, go and get rid of another 7 or 8, I think Arsenal will make a fair bit of money this summer in the window. Chris said, geez, 92 million. I can just imagine how much is Kane with 1 year left. Because Daniel Levy will look at that and go, well, Kane's way better than Declan Rice. He'll probably ask for 100 million for him with a year left at the age of 29. 92 million pounds of Rice is what we are really offering. Yeah, maybe. Forest will destroy us at the City Ground. I read that one, didn't I, Latte? Big up, bro. Young Gunner said, we are the Gunners, so if we sign Tielemans, he will be truly cannon fodder. Don't want nothing to do with him. 25 pace, no thank you. We need a monster in midfield. Thoughts on Frank Kessie? I mean, Kessie more seems to be getting linked with old Nando's FC down the road. Are Barca selling Kessie? Is that... I know... I saw a story yesterday that Barca are going to have to sell up to 5 players to get Messi in. So they're obviously going to clear players out. I liked Kessie at Milan. I haven't been as convinced with him at Barca. But I suppose he would be a lot cheaper. But again, the manager don't want him. That's the problem. I want him to get the players he wants. E. Ross said he's worth more than Zizou when he played. I mean, Zizou played a long time ago. I think he cost 50 million for Madrid. But yeah, it's crazy how times have changed, E. Ross. Bleck said, is this Rice feeding the kids? I'm telling you, man, this Rice needs to produce miracles if we pay that much. Jake, who's a big fan of Declan Rice, Jake Hammond said, Curtis, Rice is not overpriced. Trust me as an Arsenal fan. I go to West Ham home games. Rice is so good, hardly loses the ball, and he's better than Caicedo. What I would ask, Jake, because you watch him more than me, so fair enough, is his passing progressive? A lot of the time when I watch Rice, I feel like it's sideways, backwards. But listen, I've spoke to a few West Ham fans who say, listen, if he goes to a bigger club, he gets even better. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see with that one. But big up Jake. And Highly Wanted said, enough of this English dream team. Give me Joshua Kimmich. Yeah, I mean, he's being linked with Real Madrid. And to get a top player out of Bayern Munich is not easy, especially a player who's from Germany. Would he go from Bayern to Arsenal? Probably not. But I hear you, for 90-odd million, that's the level you want. Akeem said, I think if we get Rice, we have to get Caicedo. Seriously, that will make us compete with the Champions League. It's just, are we going to spend that much money on 2 centre mids? You've still got Thomas Partey on 200 grand a week. I don't see the club selling him. You've still got Jorginho 100 grand a week. I think the second midfielder, if Arsenal go for a second one, will be a more attacking midfielder. I think it will be somebody like a Mason Mount. Hopefully not Mason Mount, but I think it will be somebody that's got goals in them a little bit more. Caicedo and Rice don't score goals. Like Latte said, it could be Zubimendi. He's got a release clause, 50 million, a bit more creative. It's an easy deal to get done. And a lot of you are saying, I reckon Edu will go for Zubimendi over Caicedo. And we was in for him in January, but he didn't want to leave. And there's rumours he would leave in the summer. So I probably would go along with that. That's the route. I think you would see probably Rice and Zubimendi or Rice and Mason Mount. Could they go for Maddison? But Maddison seems to be heavily linked with Newcastle. Who would you prefer, Mount or Maddison? See, I tell you the problem that I've got with Maddison is I think Maddison's better in that role that Odegaard plays, where I think we need somebody in the Granit Xhaka role, where you are in the midfield pivot, but you can get forward and defend. I don't think Maddison has got the legs to play that role. I think he's very much a free spirit. You've got to give him minimal defensive responsibility. So I like Maddison more than Mount, but I think in that Xhaka role, they would go for Mason Mount over Maddison. I think Maddison would have come if we didn't get Odegaard in that sort of 10 role more. I think you look at him when he plays for Leicester, they have Tielemans and Ndidi behind him as the protection to allow him to be the free spirit. If you're playing him in the pivot next to Partey, I think defensively he would be found wanting a little bit. So that would be my experience. I prefer him. I prefer Maddison, but I think they would go for Mount ahead of him. Chris said I wouldn't want a player who was in a team fighting relegation. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think you look over the years, there's been some very good players. I think, didn't Man United get Antonio Valencia from Wigan, I think? And Valencia was a solid player for United. There have been some good players who've been relegated. So I think as long as they're performing at a high level. I don't see Rice as an 8. We need him more as a DM. I agree. I don't think he's an 8. I don't think he's got goals in him at the moment. Not really, anyway. Barella's a top player. Top player. I'm a big fan, but similar to Tonali, a lot of these Italian players, they don't want to play in England. They love being in Serie A. Once they get to a Milan, an Inter, a Juve, you see them guys, they'll spend their whole career in Italy. You know, I think you look at a lot of the top Italian players, they're not that interested in the Prem. Yeah, Wijnaldum, Robertson. Robertson was relegated with Hull City. He's probably been the best left back in the Premier League for a number of years. So I don't think being relegated is any sort of thing to make a judgment on a player and go, you're not good enough. I get it. It's not a good outlook to say, oh, I've been relegated. But also, you know, imagine how thankful they are to get to a team that's, you know, up there at the top of the league. They probably can't wait to get out of these relegation-threatened teams. So, nah, listen, being relegated is not a write-off situation. I just see a few people saying, so Brighton are on the verge of signing Dahoud from Dortmund. It's believed he's coming in as a potential replacement for either McAllister or Caicedo. But yeah, again, I suppose it opens the door to potentially go and get Caicedo. But wouldn't surprise me if he goes somewhere else. I'd be happy with Onana and Rice. I mean, if Everton go down, Rice and Lavia, now that would make sense. Lavia, I would like him as a squad player. He's a very, very good player. That is for sure. Anyway, let's move on from Declan Rice. Let's see the poll. Let's see what you're saying about Ooh. Very, very split on Declan Rice, people. Would you pay 92 million for Declan Rice? 51% of you say no. 49% say yes. So I think we're more looking at it from a price point of view. Declan Rice is not worth 90 million. If I was the manager, I wouldn't spend 92 million on Declan Rice. I'd walk away from that deal. I'd rather get Caicedo for 70 or 80 million. But I suppose the question I'm more asking is, are you in favour of Arsenal buying him? And my thing is, listen, if Arteta wants Declan Rice, pay the money. I don't care if it's 92 million. He's not worth 92 million, but Man United bought Anthony for 90 million. I don't rate him at all, by the way. Jack Grealish cost 100 million. Lukaku cost 75 million. Maguire cost 80 million. Pepe cost 75 million. There are a lot of big players who have not done that well. So, listen, I agree with Kay. 92 million is probably massively overpriced, and I think you could get somebody better. But if Arteta wants him, pay the money. Pay the money for him. And because all that happens is you constantly create excuses for your manager if he doesn't get his number one target. You know, at least whether you rate Anthony or not, because I don't rate him at all, but Ten Hag can say, I wanted him and I got him. You know, I wanted Casemiro, I got Casemiro. We need Arteta to be saying, right, I wanted Caicedo, I got him. I wanted Vlahovic, I got him. I wanted Declan Rice, I got him. Not, oh, I wanted Caicedo, but I ended up with a 31-year-old Jorginho, because you're never going to know the true ability of the manager if he keeps getting plan C and plan D. You know, he needs the proper player. So I don't think he's worth it, but pay the money if that's it. Zaha, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think so. Personally, I don't think that Arteta would work well with his personality, to be honest. Zaneid said Factos, Drift on... Big up everyone on Twitch as well. Yeah, but then again, he wanted Mudryk. Thank God we didn't get him. Thing is, football's very... Factors play a key part in football. Because Mudryk has struggled at Chelsea does not necessarily mean he would have struggled at Arsenal. I actually still think that Mudryk is a very good player. I just think he's at the wrong club who have no style of football at the moment. Now, Poch might turn him into a beast next season. So, we'll see. But obviously, yeah, Trossard was a good signing and only cost 20 million. But I do think Mudryk, like Jeremiah said, I think Mudryk would have cooked at Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. He's very quick. And I do rate him. So, but, you know, wrong club at the wrong time. It is what it is. What is your perfect window, says Greg? I mean, for me, it's more getting the right players in the right positions than necessarily the name. So, for me, I think we need a centre-back. We need a right-sided central defender. Because if Saliba's out, we need somebody better. We need a right-back. We need 2 centre-mids for me. A striker and a right winger. So, for me, 2 defenders, 2 centre-mids, 2 attackers. 6 players. 6 players for me. Potentially a left-back if Tierney goes. But if you keep him, no problem. If we were stretching that in an ideal world, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably get a goalkeeper as well. But we're not desperate for that. I think we need 6 at a minimum. 7 would be ideal world. I would get a keeper on top of that. But they're not going to get a goalkeeper. They're doubling Ramsdale's wage. They've only just signed Turner. So, yeah, that would be my perfect window. 6 players. Shanda said right back, right wing, 2 centre mids, 1 striker, 1 keeper. Maybe let Rice go to Bayern and we nick Gravenberch. I like Gravenberch, good player. Ramsdale, I like Ramsdale, you know. I would like to see a better keeper challenging him to put a bit more pressure on him. I don't think it's good for him to be guaranteed starts, you know, and I don't think Turner puts any pressure on him. Harry said I'd rather 3 or 4 world class than very good, yeah. But are we going to sign world-class players? LFC fan 2002 said, I'm a Liverpool fan. We need 3 midfielders and a centre-back. I think Liverpool will get a couple midfielders in, definitely. Ramsdale in the Champions League. Let's see if he's got the minerals. It's a different level. It is. Chris said, did you feel Maddison down tools? I don't think he did. Anytime I've watched Leicester, I felt like he's often their best player. I think that they're just a poor team. They've lost direction. They sold Fofana. Sold, you know, Chilwell, didn't spend the money properly, and I think that it's caught up with them now. And I think they'll go down. I think they're getting relegated. Steve said, would you consider Joel Linton? Joel Linton's a tank, honestly. I have to look at him properly because I still had this thing in my head that Joel Linton is this garbage striker that don't score goals. In midfield, he's an absolute beast. He'd be expensive though. That would be my problem. And he's not a specialist. So would he get exposed in the Champions League? It would be my only issue with him. But he's played very well against us. That is for sure. He's a tank. Anyway, let's move on. Couple more stories before we round up, people. And we're talking about him again. McLovin, you're in the chat. Let me know. Is Pep going to do us another favour? Let me get my my banner off the screen there. Arsenal, this is in the same article, Matt Law in the Daily Telegraph. Arsenal are interested in Manchester City's out-of-favour fullback, João Cancelo, but they fear Manchester City will be reluctant to do business with them this year. It remains to be seen whether Cancelo will have other options to consider. Now, the story, what is interesting about this story? I think we've spoken about this a few times anyway. It's believed that Bayern Munich are not going to pursue a deal for him. They think he's too expensive. Now, Barcelona are apparently interested in him. But Barcelona are trying to do a deal to get Lionel Messi on huge wages. There's a story coming out of Barcelona today. They're going to have to sell up to 5 players. I think Busquets could be leaving. Jordi Alba could be leaving. I think there was a few others. There's a report out anyway. They can't afford to go and spend this kind of money. It's believed Manchester City will want between 45 and 50 million pounds. So Couple of things. Number one, I don't think he plays for Manchester City again. How often does a player have a big fallout with Pep and then play? It's not going to happen. He's not going to play for City. But are City prepared to sell a player of that quality to Arsenal? Now, I'm not sure that they will. I'm not sure. If they sell us Cancelo, then I think that Pep really doesn't respect us, or he doesn't rate Cancelo. I'm not sure. McLovin, what do you think? Fool me once, yeah, I hear you. Cancelo is 29 next week. I don't have a major problem with that. I think you can give him a 3-year deal. I think sometimes we look at players now, 28, 29, as they're finished. I think he can still be a good player. I mean, look how good Kyle Walker is at the moment. Kyle Walker is still easily one of the best right-backs in world football, by the way. Kyle Walker, unbelievable right-back. And he's 32, Kyle Walker. So if you gave... He's 32 and he's 33 on the 28th of May, and he's still a top quality. Cancelo could play for 3 years still as a top fullback, can play right back and left back. Now, interestingly, though, I've got to go along with this. A lot of you in the comments saying that you don't think he's a particularly good defender. Now, I know a lot of people said he was exposed a little bit in the Champions League for Manchester City, which they have looked stronger, possibly with him not being there defensively. So, yeah. Feels like the Nasri Clichy era in reverse. Yeah, where we're signing the sidemen in your team. They're not your main players. But Cancelo was in the team of the season last year. He was very good last season. Bluey said, money-wise, selling to a Prem team is the only thing that benefits City. Bayern, Barca, all these European teams are broke. The interesting thing is why I think they still possibly would sell Cancelo to Arsenal. Because I look at it like this. If you look at last season, Chelsea were in the Champions League. They'd won the Champions League a year earlier. And they sold Raheem Sterling to Chelsea last summer. And you would have predicted at the start of the season, Thomas Tuchel, big transfer window, you would have probably expected Chelsea to have been in the title race this year, to be honest. And they felt no problem selling Raheem Sterling to Chelsea. So maybe Pep will look at Cancelo and think, actually, he's not as good as you think he is defensively. You can have him. I don't know. It'll be interesting. What do you think? Do you think City would sell it? And it's another sort of inverted fullback. Nameblock said he's a terrible defender. Better than Zinni, but still can't defend. He's definitely better than Zinchenko. Play Caicedo at right back. Well, he did it the other day. Gunnar Vettel said, nah, Curtis, good player, but not interested. We need better than Cancelo. Defensively, he's not that good. Gunnar 8 said, I like Tariq Lamptey. All right, you know what? It's worth another poll. I didn't think it was worth it because I thought it was clear as day. Would you sign Cancelo for 50 million? Now, I got to be honest. I take him all day long. I think he's better than Ben White. He's outstanding on the ball. And this is a guy that was in Team of the Season last year, a year ago. People were saying he's the best fullback in the Prem last year. I'd take him. I don't think we're in a position to say no to him. People saying Tariq Lamptey and Denzel Dumfries. I mean, Dumfries is not a good defender. He's more of a wing-back. So, listen, I hear you. Financially, it's 50 million. He's nearly 29. He's on 140 grand a week. I think he's better than what we've got. I think he'd be our best right-back straight away. And he's ridiculous on the ball, by the way. And he can play left-back. But listen, the poll's up. Let me know. I'm open to your opinions. A lot of you seem to be saying no, and you're not happy with his defending. So, to be honest, sometimes when a fullback plays for City, it's very difficult to judge them defensively because they dominate the ball so much. You know, I've seen Fabian Delph play left-back and win the title and look like a quality left-back. So, it is hard sometimes to make that judgment. And Bayern Munich are actually not playing him every week. So that's a little bit of a red flag. But I would take him. Shaq said significantly improves the team. You're talking about a 29-year-old, experienced, fantastic on the ball, left foot, right back, left back. I'm taking him. I actually don't look at him. When we signed Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, I knew we were signing the backup dancers at Man City. They're not the guys at the front of the stage. They're the ones at the back. Cancelo was front of the stage. The only reason is because he fell out with Pep. Otherwise, he'd still be in the City team, or he'd be one of the main players still. So, but let me know in the poll. Let me know in the poll. BY said the reason why Liverpool had success was Michael Edwards found bargains. Not sure Edu is capable of finding the right bargains. Now, I've spoken about this a few times this week when I put that tweet out about the Kroenkes, and I don't believe Arsenal will ever win the top trophies with the Kroenkes in charge. When I say the top trophies, I mean Premier League and Champions League. And people were saying things like, yeah, but they have backed Arteta the last few years, blah, blah, blah. Number one, spending 125 million in a summer window, I don't think is enough to bridge the gap to Manchester City. They're further ahead than that. Second of all, the owners are responsible for the people they hire to do the job. Sporting directors, manager, the board members, blah, blah, blah. As you said, Michael Edwards is one of the main reasons that Liverpool managed to win the Champions League, the Prem, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. City, I've got that guy, Texi, I forget his second name, but the guy they got from Barcelona, who is outstanding at his job. They obviously hired Pep. Liverpool hired Klopp. So it's not just about owning a club and going, there's some money to spend. Who are you giving the money to? Do you know what I mean? It's not about that. So that is my issue. And as a few of you have just said, Michael Edwards is leaving Liverpool. You know, Newcastle are being linked with him. He would be outstanding at Arsenal. But obviously they're very much, the process involves Edu, Vinay, Arteta. They're all sort of a group at the moment. So I suppose we've got to stick with them and see where it takes us. But it's very much, you know, those sort of things are vital when it comes to getting these players in and dealing with negotiations. That's it. Texi, Berger, Steen or something is a release clause merchant. Well, he gets good players. You know, even if they're release clause, Ruben Diaz and all these guys, top players. Rowan said Edwards got Salah, Mane, Bobby, Robertson and Firmino. I mean, say no more. And how much were them? Salah, 30 odd mil. Mane, 30 something. Bobby, 30 odd. Robertson was about 10 million. Firmino, 30 odd mil. And look at the level that all of them players reach. So, yeah, you need to get bargains sometimes. Cello said, I'm not a fan of Arteta, but if he's not fully backed by the Kroenkes, then Arsenal will win 0 major trophies. Mark my word. I'm with you in that. People still ask me about Arteta. What's your thought process on Arteta? And my answer is, he's getting better. He's had a good season, but I'm still not fully convinced. The only way to fully convince me is you win trophies. You get us over the finish line. You do things that I feel like are extremely difficult to achieve. I still need to see more. I need to see more. I need to see progression next season. But the club have to back him. Anthony said our summer has to involve us selling, releasing at least 10 players. Our squad will soon be bloated like Chelsea's if Edu doesn't offload. And the whole dynamic changes. That's as important as buying. You're spot on. Because as I said, June the 30th, all the loan players will be back on our wage bill. In fact, some of them will be sooner than that, in fact. Sometimes it's the end of May. So you're adding 11 players to our wage bill. So that means our wage bill probably go up 500,000-600,000 a week. So sometimes it can be, well, you can't go and buy these players until you've got rid of 4 or 5 of them, you know? So Edu has got his biggest ever summer. But as I said, these guys should be excited. If I'm Edu, I'm excited because now I can go and get better players. I've got more money to spend. So there's no excuse for him. Big up Broads, he said, thank you for everything. Big Granite Xhaka. It's funny, didn't Broads say in a comment this season that Xhaka was becoming his favourite player? How times have changed, eh? But he's on his way. He's on his way. This season, what I like about this season that is about to come up is they can't hide anymore. All the hiding, it's all done. You can't hide. You can't hide behind COVID and having to sell players and being in the Europa League and all this stuff. There's nowhere to hide. Stan Kroenke, Edu, Arteta. Champions League. There's the money, right? Big players will want to come to us. We're playing good football. We have got players that we can sell and make money off. There's no excuses for this football club this summer. And people rated last summer's window very highly. I thought it was a 6 out of 10 window. We signed 2 players that affected the team in Jesus and Zinchenko. Fabio Vieira's done nothing. Matt Turner's a backup goalkeeper. Marquinhos got loaned out. It was an average window. People were giving it 8s and 9s. We need 3 or 4 players to go into the starting 11 and a couple to go on the bench. That's the level we've got to reach. Ready or not, here I come. No hiding, bro. No hiding. We're playing hide and seek, and we know where you are. It's one of them. So let's see. At the moment, it's very transfer heavy, the conversation. And, that's where we're at the moment. So couple more stories to get into before we start to round up people. Got to be Champions League ready. Chris said, would you still take Sterling? Nah, I wouldn't now. Leave him at Chelsea, man. Renarsson's back. He's got to go. Just give him away. Pay someone to take him. Some of you saying, get rid of Kivior already. Opinion on Vieira. Patrick, legend. Fabio. Wet wipe, mate. Not good enough. Told you, Curtis, this is the referendum on the Kroenkes. Do you care season? Spot on. Mark says, would you take Sadio Mane? I wouldn't take him. Wouldn't take him. I'd leave him now. The only Sterling I want is the pound coin. What Kivior did over the weekend was crazy. I mean, listen, he had to tie his laces, man, Can't leave them laces untied. Don't worry that we're conceding a goal. Got to tie them laces. Let's move on. Couple more stories and then we're out of here, people. Reiss Nelson has been offered a 3rd and final contract. As the story goes, Arsenal are eager to convince the player to stay. Read a little bit of this article. Sounds as if Reiss Nelson is on his way out despite this contract offer. I don't think it's got anything to do with the money. I think it's to do with the fact we can't guarantee him first team football. Brighton want him. He'll get football there. They play good football. If I was Reiss Nelson's agent, unless Arteta can guarantee more football, I think you go to Brighton. Honestly, and I like Reiss Nelson. I'd like Arsenal to keep him. I actually still think there's a talent there if you could play him more and coach him. He's sharp, he's direct. I hope he does sign this contract. I just think, from his point of view, if I was his agent, I think Brighton's a fantastic move for him. They play good football. He'll get way more football there. They'll go probably to the Europa League next year. Very good manager. I think it'd be a good time for him to move on. I just think if he signs a new deal at Arsenal, he's just sitting down on the bench. We don't have Europa League to give him more minutes. Yeah, I don't think it's a great deal for him to stay. Caicedo Reiss swap deal. He's out of contract, Nimbo. We can't swap him for anything. He's worth nothing to us once his contract's up. Stupid business again by Arsenal. Why would you allow Reiss Nelson to run down his contract? That's easily a £20 million player. But Arsenal, let him run down his deal. Stupid business. E. Ross said, damn, Curtis, did you just say wet wipe to foul? Oh, wet wipe, man. Go get your wet wipes. I see your headlights. They got me saying, damn. If you're a Dipset fan, you're with me right now. If not, you're thinking, what's he talking about? But yeah, wet wipe settings, man. I might do a watch along later. Yeah, do you know what I was thinking? Because we're not interested in Man City now, don't bother. But I might just do it, and as a Real Madrid fan, scream out Hala Madrid, and I'm a massive Benzema fan, and Vinicius, so I might do it. Keep your notifications on. I think I am probably going to do it. I hope Man City get beat. I want to see Pep in tears by 10 o'clock tonight. I'm sorry. Any Man City fans, I'm sorry, because I actually don't mind City as a football club, but you've inflicted pain and damage on us this season. So, yeah, I need Madrid to turn you over. And even if they win the league, they won't be happy if they miss out on that Champions League. Final story of the day, people. Let's end on a high. Sorry, by the way, because I'm firing shots here, but it is a high. I told you, this is clear out season. Summertime is here. 14 days until summer, people. Put down the chocolate cakes. Make sure you're in shape. We don't want to be looking like Homer Simpson on the beach this summer. You know what I mean? We're clearing out the closet. M&M settings. Rob Holding. He's one of several Arsenal players who could wave goodbye this summer. That is according to John Cross, a.k.a. Mr. Warchest himself. Rob Holding is being linked with a move to Sheffield United, newly promoted to the Prem. It's believed Arsenal would want £8 to £10 million for Rob Holding. Thank you very much, Rob. You've been a good servant of the football club. You're a cool guy. I spoke to him over there in America. He seemed like a good guy, but it's time to move on. You've got an impeccable hairline. You've got nearly more hair than me. You've been at the club for a long time. Sheffield United. He's from up north as well. On your bike, fella. Get yourself off to Sheffield United. I'm telling you. It's clear out season. We're in Harrods. We're in Selfridges. We're in Flannels. We're not in TK Maxx. We're not in Aldi. We're not in Lidl. We're not in the pound shop. We're going big this summer. Go big or go home. So, Rob, 8 million. Even if it's Jamaican dollars, I'm happy to take it. Thank you very much, Rob. On your bike. We ain't playing games no more. This is the Champions League. For those that tuned in yesterday, by the way, as I said, Arsenal could be third seeds in the Champions League group next season, which means we could have potentially 2 monsters in our group. I am not doing watch-alongs next season, right, in the Bernabeu, in the Allianz Arena, in the Nou Camp, with Rob Holding at centre-back, with Eddie Nketiah up front. I'm sorry. We've been through too much. We deserve better now. We've suffered for long enough. So, 2 million, 10 grand, Tesco meal deal, bottle of Prime, whatever it is, we'll do the deal. Thanks, Rob. Beautiful hairstyle. Great transplant, implant, whatever you got done in the summer. But on your bike, fella. Sheffield United, relegation battle, Bramall Lane, all the best. So there we go, people. That is the end of today's show. Thank you very much for tuning in. I thought that was a good way to end. Yeah, I'll probably do a watch along tonight. Why not? Hala Madrid business. And I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with another Arsenal stream. 4 p.m. will be the members stream tomorrow, so keep yourself locked in. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, people, and I should be back on tonight. Apparently, I missed a super chat, Kaz. Apologies. Late to the party, but glad Xhaka, Rob, and others are going. About time. If we don't sign Rice and Caicedo, heads have to roll. I fear Tielemans and Mount with El Neni. Listen, I'm telling you now, I don't care what people... If we end up with Yuri Tielemans and we don't get Rice, Caicedo, the players that the manager wants, then you're going to... I'm dropping more than grenades on Twitter. It's going crazy. Let's end the poll. I can't remember the poll. It was Cancelo, wasn't it? 76% of you would take Cancelo. 24% say no. I would take him personally. I think he's better than what we've got at right back. And Bleck said, thanks for the smiles, Rob. Bye-bye. There you go, Rob. You've smiled. You've enjoyed yourself. It's time to go, mate. It's time to go. Thanks to everyone tuning in today. 2,000 of you in the chat. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're nearly at 62k. Tonight, watch along. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. member stream as well. Take care. See you soon, everyone. Bless.